Welcome to African Spiritual Resistance. We're about to get into it. This is Osun Ojetades. My wife is on the way. Here she is.
Greetings, family.
And we're about to get right into it. This episode is Oshun, the spirit of revolution. And we're about to get into it. Hold on 1 second, you all.
In the refrigerator, baby. I mean, in the kitchen.
All right. So we're about to get into it.
So we just had our Oshun festival, Oshun and Ekbe festival. Last week?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Last Saturday and Sunday.
If you didn't make it, you missed out. For those of us,
as y'all can hear, Okikiola is making her presence known. So my wife was saying that the Oshun Festival,
Oshun and Ekbe festival,
Oshun and Egbe Festival was last Saturday, and then Sunday they had a dinner for the elder sisters in the Ifa community. It was all beautiful, and it went well. But in 3 months, we're going into the Ogun Festival.
Yes, Ogun ye moye.
Ogun Awo. You don't see much as far as the Ogun Festival. You need this, or you don't see much as far as the Ogun Festival. You don't see much of that. Many Ogun festivals go on, and that's what me and Bele dealt with yesterday in warrior class. Ogun is misrepresented, misunderstood, and feared. So a lot of people don't mess with doing his festivals. And I was talking to a student today about that. He's feared. You also don't want to mess up doing his stuff, right? And really, that all comes down to doing more study and practice. And so we're going to bring an Ogun Festival to you all. And if you've been to Ogun Festival before, we're going to bring it like you've never seen before. So
yes.
that's December 9th. And we're going to have a good time. Yes. So today, we're speaking about Oshun, but we'll also get a little bit into the relationship between Oshun and Ogun. Ogun is the spirit of war, iron and war. Oshun is the spirit of beauty and love, but also the spirit of revolution. So we're going to get into that now.
Oshun, the Orisa of beauty and love, is also the spirit of the human rights activist and the revolutionary, as well as a giver of children, riches, and all the other good things of life. Oshun fights discrimination against women and revolts against patriarchal systems. Among the Orisha and the Isheshe, the traditional Ifa as practiced in Africa, Oshun is very respectful and respected, strong and notable. No adjective is no adjective is enough to describe her and her deeds. She is a mother, doctor, redeemer, wife, and stated earlier, a revolutionary and a human rights activist. She is the definition of a heroine, and any brave woman today takes after Oshun.
Yes. She's the definition of a heroine or hero. And hold on a second. Our daughter is. Hold on. Got my cord trapped in my wife's. So anyway, for thousands of years, the Odu Ifa which is the body of knowledge in the Yoruba cultural and spiritual tradition, has demanded gender balance in virtually all spheres of human endeavor: governance, religion, politics, economy, sports, and other human social activities. For instance, in Yoruba society, men dominate governance, right, which is political rule. But women are not excluded, though in modern times they are underrepresented. Women also become traditional rulers, either in acting capacity, so as regents, right, or substantive in some communities. Ekiti and Ondo communities are typical examples of these, as these two areas have parallel female and male political institutions that are still maintained up till today. So while there are male and female Orisha, and humans can have either as their Orisha, not just all men are Ogun, all women are Oshun. There are women who are Ogun, right here. There are men who are Oshun, so or Yemonja. So don't confuse that. Those are energies, okay? It's forces of nature, and we have them all in us, but there are those that are dominant within us, okay? So if they say you're a son or a daughter of Ogun, that means Ogun is dominant with you, with your life, with your guidance, okay? Which affects your personality and things of that nature. Um, So while there are male and female Orisha, and humans can have either, there are also male and female priests, male and female kings, male and female war chiefs, and so on. Okay? And this is all due to Oshun.
Oshetura is the holy Odu in Ifa that speaks about Oshun being sent to maintain the world's order. The world, which consists of 16 male Irumale, or primal power, did not invite her to their meeting or to help with the work. They only sent the animals that they had sacrificed to cook at the offering. After Oshun prepared the food, they prevented her from eating any of it, and they would not discuss anything that's going on in the meetings. They wouldn't even discuss it around her. Oshun became very angry. She began to use the power of the Yami, the ancestral mothers. This awesome power made everything that they did useless. The male deities did not understand what was happening. Um, they had never been dismissed by Olodumare, the supreme being. Before all their efforts and petitions and ceremonies were becoming fruitless, they came together to consult with Orumila, the Orisha of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Orumila suggested that they consult Ifa. So Orumila brought out the instrument of divination and consulted Ifa. The Odu that appeared on the board was named Osetura by Orumila, Ose on the right and Otura on the left. Orumila departed to seek guidance from Olodumare on the Odu. It was there that he met Eshu Odara. Eshu was with Olodumare. Eshu narrated to Olodumare the damage that had been done to the work of those on earth because they had failed to invite the person who constituted the 17th among them. For this everything was being destroyed. Olodumare understood. When Orumila presented the grievance of the male Orisha, Olodumare told them to apologize to Oshun and invite her to participate in all their meetings and the sacrifices that they had offered. Everything became calm again, and after they agreed to let Oshun the 17th among them and attend their meetings, things began to be better.
See all their secrets and attend their meetings.
Yes, so they made sure that they was able that they invited Oshun to their meetings to see the secrets, to attend whatever it is they had conducted because they realized with that one female, that one woman that was among them, everything became fruitless. So it's important to note, don't discriminate against your sisters.
And so you understand, originally they wouldn't not only let her be at their meetings, uh, they wouldn't let her attend sacrifices, but then the animals they sacrificed, they would give them to her and tell her to cook them.
Cook them, yeah. So women
So
should not just be reduced to, you know,
cooks
cooks,
and servers,
washers, yeah,
dishwashers,
yeah.
and all right. So and a lot of times I spoke on that before, that happens with sisters. They're reduced to that, so we have to be careful because Oshun threw a monkey wrench in the male Orisa's program.
The one women, you're not allowed to have headway if you don't incorporate women. That's why most women, at least one, are incorporated in the majority of things in this world.
And that was the first revolutionary act of her throwing the monkey wrench in their program, fighting patriarchy. Okay, Oshun had one condition though. After they started inviting her to the meetings and everything, and treating her as an equal, she had one condition to make things better. Now that they were satisfied, she said that she would carry a child in her womb. Um, they must make this child a male child, and this child will accompany them in their work as a substitute for her. Okay. They used their power of Ashe to ensure that the child would be born male. They placed their Ashe each day above the head of Oshun and prayed until the time of Oshun's delivery arrived. She gave birth to the child. After the 9th day, she permitted them to see the child for the naming ceremony. When they saw it was a male child, they rejoiced. Each one carried the child and blessed him. What type of name shall we give him? Orisa, which is another name for Batala, asked. You all know very well that each day we blessed his mother with our power so that she could give birth to a boy. This child shall justly be called Ashe Tua. Ashe Tua. Okay, so that means Tua is spitting. Spitting on the tray means teaching, right? And Ashe, teaching with Ashe, or speaking with Ashe, which translates to power brought him us. So them speaking on the tray, speaking with on the implements that were put above Oshun's head, that is what brought birth to him. So they named him Ashe Tua. Orumala consulted the oracle about the child's destiny and to determine the Odu he was born under. So when the child's born, you tell like when Okikyo was born, it's determined what Odu was she born under. Okay.
What pattern of life?
Right. The Odu are the patterns of life. So that they could initiate him into the society of Ifa. He was taken in the forest to the Igbodu. Igbodu is the grove where you're initiated, okay? Where Ifa revealed that Oshe and Otur were to be his Odu. Orumla said the child that Oshe and Otur caused to be born, we formerly call Ashetur. He said, it is for this reason that we shall call the child by the name of the Odu of Ifa that gave him birth, Oshetur. Thus the child became the personification of Oshetur and participated in the group of the other Odu to the point of going with them to all the places where the offerings were made on the earth. Oshun herself gave this child a name on the day. She said Osho, meaning that the child was the son of magical power because she herself was an Ajay, which is an aspect of the power of Iyami. Okay. She said Akin Asho, a powerful, brave warrior who is the recipient of a great supernatural power. Akin Asho, a powerful, brave warrior who is the recipient of a great supernatural power. Whenever you hear Akin, Akin means warrior. So my student Akin Bobala, you hear that the warriors in there, okay? This is why Oshetur, or Akin Osho, is called one of the 16 most powerful among all the Odu Ifa.
Now, one thing I want to say is that if the Odu Ifa or Setura comes for you, Ifa is telling you not to berate, women, and that you should, this woman is going to help whatever it is you're trying to do, your business, your school. This woman is going to help make things happen for you. In addition to that, if this Odu comes for a woman, Ifa is saying it sees a blessing of a child, and that the child is going to be a male child, and that the person needs to make sacrifice in order to make that happen. Afterwards, they said that in whatever place the great ones met, it is compulsory that the child will be with them. If they cannot meet with the 17th member, they cannot arrive at a decision. Thus, Oshun Revolutionary Act of throwing a monkey wrench in the program of the male divinities was the first act of revolution and the first fight of the rights of women, and teaches us that if you want things to change, you have to make things change, and you have to stop those systems that oppress and attempt to erase you.
Beyond the first act of revolution, Oshun is the spirit of revolution. Now, what does this mean? Oshun is often called a seductress, and people mislabel her as a prostitute. A force of nature, the spirit of beauty and love, a prostitute. Okay. We got to think deeper. Revolutions seduce us with the hope that the course of history suddenly begins anew, that an entirely new story, a story never known or told before, is about to unfold. Revolution, brought about by the idea of freedom and the experience of a new beginning, actualizes the experience of being free. Revolution is a concerted effort to change government, regime, society, or all three by violence. It is an attempt to establish a new moral and material world and to impose or evoke radically new patterns of day-to-day conduct, again by violence. Revolutionary violence is the means to a wanted end. So when we talk about Oshun as a seductress, it's because the spirit of revolution, it seduces us and incites us to revolution, incites us to stand up against our oppressors. That's the seduction it's talking about, not that Oshun's a doggone prostitute. Okay.
Revolution is a successful change of the government, regime, society, or all three by violence. It is the rapid, complete and violent change in values, social structures, political institutions, governmental policies, and social political leadership. A violent, fundamental, and abrupt change of incumbent elite status, class relations, institution values, symbols, and myths. The relationship between Oshun and Ogun, the spirit of iron and war, the revolutionary violence, is illustrated in this story. Though he worked in the city as the blacksmith of the Orisa and humanity, part of Ogun's heart always remained in the forest. As the years went by, Ogun began to tire of the city and constant work he had to perform, though he remembered having cursed himself before Batala, the reach of peace and consciousness. To a life of hard labor, he began to feel he was powerful enough that none of the Orisha had the strength to stop him from doing whatever he felt like doing. And what he wanted to do was to retreat to the forest and leave the city of Ile Ife and his trouble behind him. It didn't take long.
So one day.
Okay, so one day before warning, he merely disappeared into the forest. He didn't take long for his absence to become noticed, and virtually everything ground to a halt for want of a blacksmith to create the tools necessary for the day-to-day life. One by one, all of the Orishas, with the exception of Shango, went to Ogun to try to persuade him to return. None of them met with success. Even Yemonja, Ogun's ex-wife, the Orisha of fertility, and Orumala's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding failed at their attempt to bring him back to carry out his work. His response was simply to savagely chase them out of the forest. Meanwhile, the Orisha and the beginning of humanity were beginning to starve. One day, young Orisha appeared before the heavenly court to ask if she might be allowed to try and bring Ogun back to civilization. This young Orisha was Oshun. The other Orisha complained that she was too far young and that Ogun was far too dangerous for her or to be allowed to go. Ogun might even kill her, judging by the tantrum
Taciturn.
taciturn mood he was in. But Oshun was not to be dissuaded from her task, and she hinted that than they she might be more powerful than the thoughts that she might have had her own ways to bringing the recalcitrant Orisha back to the fold. At this, the heavenly court erupted, some complaining that the upstart didn't know what she was talking about. Others merely laughed at the idea. But Obatala was listening carefully to all that was being said, and with a wave of the hand, there was a silence in the great halls. He said that at none of the other Orishas had been successful in bringing Ogun back to the city. It wouldn't hurt to let Oshun give it a try. He added, with knowing smiles, and perhaps Oshun indeed had powers that the others hadn't considered. With that, Oshun turned, left, and left the heavenly courts and set herself upon her new task. She advanced into the forest, dancing, wearing only 5 scarves. And when she saw that Ogun was near, she began to do her dance in earnest, always revealing a little and then hiding.
Hiding a little.
She's always revealing a little, then hiding a little with her transparent scarves, all while acting as if she was unaware of Ogun's presence. She sang, Onio Bobo, Onio Bonbon Solo You, Baba Solo You, Baba Solo, You Oni Bambo, Kerere, Baba Solo You, Baba Solo You, Baba. I am the queen of honey. My honey is irresistible. Sure enough, he crept in closer for a better look, and the Alshon responded by pulling back her slightly.
Pulling back ever so slightly.
I'm sorry, pulling back ever so slightly. When Ogun would sneak within range, she would take some honey, pour it from the bottle into her backside, and dance. Her gyration would cause the honey to fly and smear Ogun's lips. Soon Ogun was acting as if he was in a trance, but Oshun kept acting as if she didn't even notice. She merely kept retreating slowly in the direction of the town, occasionally spreading more honey on her backside and smearing Ogun's lips. When it seemed her spell might even wear off, before he knew it, Ogun found himself in the very center of the city, where he was surrounded by all the Orisha, cheered him, and diminutive Oshun was returning. For Ogun, it was a point of horror to remain.
Honor.
For Ogun, it was a point of honor to remain, otherwise, he would appear weak, as easily fooled. And all learned that sweetness is sometimes the most powerful weapon of all, and that indeed Oshun was much more powerful than she appeared, and was to be respected.
Now, the smearing of honey on her backside means that to Ogun, Oshun made the idea of work sweet. The backside is often associated with work, busting my ass, hump day, yada, yada. Okay. Work is also associated with revolution and workers with revolutionaries. And he even began to speak revolution, meaning Ogun. His lips smeared with honey. So she seduced him into revolution, okay, into a revolutionary mindset. So Oshun, the revolutionary, seduced Ogun, the penultimate warrior, sparking the revolutionary spirit in him and presenting the now revolutionary Ogun to Ile-Ife, the city of love. And revolutionaries are guided by love, where he will now use his formidable skills in war, fueled by his revolutionary spirit, to protect the people. Revolutionary violence, Oshun and Ogun, is necessary for our liberation. So that's the relationship between Oshun and Ogun, and that story is talking about you awakening our people, the workers. Ogun is a consistent and eternal worker, right? So you awaken the revolutionary spirit in the workers. And it is with revolutionary violence that they will make the change that's needed. And that's why the people needed Ogun. They needed the warriors to come back. We don't have no warriors that can fight for us. This is the city of love, right? And others want it. We need Ogun. Why else did they want Ogun? Ogun was gone. They were having problems once Ogun left because the workers weren't there to protect it. So Oshun, let me get him back. How do you get him back? You awaken his revolutionary spirit. You smear that honey on his lips, so he's also speaking that. So now he's awakening other warriors, other workers. And now when Ogun comes back to the town, it's not talking about just one person. It's talking about the workers, the people come back to the town of the city of love, meaning they come back to themselves. They come back to their traditions, to their culture.
Or even procreation.
And it could be talking about that too. But in that, when the people need revolution, you have to have revolutionary violence, but you also have to have revolutionaries. So, like in the Haitian Revolution, a big part of that was them having children. Okay. So, it means more than one thing. It's layered. So it's also come back to the city of love. You have Oshun and Ogun once again, and the Revolutionary Act. Also, the revolutions is when the sperm strikes the egg, it begins to revolve, and it pulls in mass, and then begins to create brain, well, heart first, and then brain, and then nerves, and all the good stuff, and then a few months later, baby like Okikiola is born. Isn't that right? Okay. So that's also talking about that. Baba, may I ask what you and your queen are reading from? Our notes, Brother Chris. It's our notes, so it's not from a book, anything like that. Any far, what we're talking about, the Odu, that's the body of knowledge. And there are books that have the Odu in them. We'll have maybe 2 verses. We had this one book that had like 4 verses, 4 short verses in them. Traditionally, most of the time, you learn the Odu and what they mean from your teachers.
Yes.
So you can't just, this ain't something you just do in a book and you just know, like in academia, right? You actually have to get with a competent teacher and learn. Ora leye mamae, I guess it's mame Osun, which is Oshun. Oshun is said different ways depending on the culture. Salve mame Oshun. Oriyo. They know this. Yes, we do know this. Rocky. And happy birthday. That's Bilay's birthday today. That Rock Hill E, that's Belay.
May Oshun bless you with more sweetness.
Yes. So, happy birthday, brother. But yeah, Brother Chris, people always ask, well, what book do you recommend, Inifa, And I will say normally the book I recommend is If Our Men Die Broken World by Wande Abimbola, who is the Owishe, mean the spokesperson of Ifa in the world. I recommend that book. Um, I recommend any book by uh, the Araba Jamie Ele Bouibon. Um,
Chief Farmer.
Chief Farmer's books, yes. She so when you see Chief Farmer, her name not Farmer, that's an acronym. I can't remember what Farmer is, but her books are great. But her books are more for people that's been studying Ifa for a while because they're more advanced in their presentation. And there are other good books, but those are the ones recommend right now if you want to get some books to read, right? But if you want to learn Odu, you want to get with a teacher that can teach you that.
Oshun is very important. A lot of people just see Oshun as a river, but she's deeper than just a river. You
Brother Jamil, hey, Brother Jamil, assalamu alaikum, brother. Brother Jamil is a great student minister from the Nation of Islam. Brilliant brother, and that's Jared's biological brother too. Come to me. Emmanuel Briggs says hello to you, Professor Whoop Ass, and your beautiful wife. I say thank you, brother. You. Hey, she's biting my finger.
King also, it's a girl.
Who?
It's a greetings to the young king.
Oh, it's a yeah. I mean, it could be a king. Yes, it's a girl though. Yeah, and the young king. She's biting my finger now, as she's quite content with chewing Baba's finger up. I would advise you all, if you have children, I have a high pain tolerance. Don't let your children chew your fingers up. You know, she don't have teeth yet, but she likes to slap me too. Don't let your children do that because everybody can't take the slaps. You don't want people knocked out on your floor, stuff like that. Let's see here. Orie is how we praise Orisa, Oshun, and Candomblé in Brazil. I say, Candomblé, okay.
Okay, awesome.
I say, Asante Sana, brother Chris. Yebo. So what I've been thinking about that too. What we'll do soon, maybe next week, is the difference and similarities between the Orisa traditions throughout the diaspora, right? Because I was thinking of somebody I know that we could bring on who is an Iyanifa in the Cuban tradition.
Okay.
And just talk about that. Now, we're not with attacking nobody's belief system, okay? There's a value in all the belief systems, and if you study well, you can find that value. What happens is people don't study well, and then they just get opinions without knowledge, and now you're just talking outside of your neck. So you won't hear us attacking. Same way, we did an episode on Warrior Class about the different martial arts outside of the African ones, right? And people thought we were going to go in on them or something. What's the gain from that except an enemy? That doesn't make sense. So we just were talking about the things that we understand of those different systems that are good. Okay. So, and if you ask me what, I can't study African martial arts. It's not in my time. What should I study? I always would say judo. Have no and love judo. Okay. Well, if people say, well, in my town, it's only lukumi. There's no isheshe, which is the tradition where it's practiced in Nigeria. Okay, in Ifa, I will ask people I know. It's only Lukumi that I'll ask who's a good person for you to go to. Okay, so never will I be. You in trouble.
Right.
You ain't got nobody you can go. That's bullshit. If it works, it works.
Yeah. I have people that before they came to Ifa, they practice Lukumi or Santeria and they burn a lot of candles. And I've had one lady, she has a whole room, it's like a candle room.
Wow.
And she said, "Yeah, what do I do with this?" And I said to her, I said, "Well, is this the thing that helped you get to E5?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, continue to do it. If I didn't say you can't do it,
You're right.
this is what helped you. Why not continue on? You that's your support system."
Yeah, so a lot of times we have been taught it's this way, my way or the highway. Like a lot of times our parents did that to us. It's my way or the highway, and we become our parents as we get older. My way, you do it my way or the highway. Like they got the only way or the best way since sliced bread, and it's just not true. But always respect your parents. Know that they're doing the best they can, but also research. Okay, research and be open-minded. I was blessed to have open-minded parents. My parents were just when I was 12. I've told that story. I stopped going to the Christian church. I had too many questions. And I was embarrassing my mother because I was saying the questions out loud in the church. Oh Lord, from the time I was 8 years old. And so she said, "Well, what do you want to do when I turn 12?" She said, "You want to go to church with me or stay home and watch the food? I'm going to cook the food. You watch the food so it doesn't burn." I said, "I'll stay home and watch the food." And she knew I was going to go for that because I was embarrassing too much. One guy praying, he said, "My head got gray." I said, "Mama, he bald headed. What do you mean his head ain't got gray? He talking about his pubic hair?" She said, "Boy, be quiet. Be quiet." And people would be giggling in the church, listening to me, the little boy asking these questions and saying crazy shit like that. And be quiet. And I always had those questions. It doesn't make sense, Ma. He lying right up on the pulpit praying. He praying to God and he lying, talking about his head and got gray. And she said, "Well, maybe he is talking about his pubic hair. You gonna go ask him?" I said, "I'll go ask him." "No, don't do that. Don't do. You better not." So, be open-minded with yourself. Be open-minded with your children.
And it's also it's good to know in this time and age because we have to give thanks to the Cuban Lukumi Santeria because
Hand it to me.
With those cultures with that it allowed us to have that way back to Africa to even practice Isheshe. And not just leave them out, the way they practice in Brazil. I look forward to going to Brazil to enjoy that. I've seen pictures and parades and all that stuff, so I look forward to seeing that. How they do things and.
We'll have. I think she scratched her mouth with my glasses. Oh, poor, so sorry. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pope. She was showing my glasses. I think she scratched her mouth with something in there. I don't know what she could have scratched her mouth with, but maybe the corners of it. That is part of the learning process of us all. We all have to learn by getting scratched a little bit from time to time, y'all. Somebody said the different systems is like how you connect with your cousins or grown siblings living in another house. True, yeah, exactly. It should be love there, and y'all may not agree, but y'all can deal with each other with respect. Okay. Uh, Me and my wife don't agree on everything, but we love each other and we have to deal with respect. I know, certain things. You heard on the show one time the wife was talking about something with uh, the government or something. I don't fuck with the state. I do not fuck with the state. I don't care how it can be flipped, spent, or whatever. Right. Um, Other than got a marriage license and all that, and uh, I always tell people we were married before we got the license, um, but we got the license so things we could do certain things. Okay, it was purely strategic. It wasn't because we say the state can tell us whether we married or not. Because if it wasn't for the fact that we have to have that license to do certain things, never would have got married through the state, to be honest. And it made my mama happy, you know. She get to see that piece of paper. This is important. I said, Mom, well, we were married before this paper. I know, but this is important. That was so funny. This is important. And she calling everybody, telling them we got our marriage license now. Like that was, new. We had been married for years before we got the doggone marriage license. Hey, you good now? She all right? And stay back, Pooh. This is hot. Let me see. I knew this sister from Puerto Rico whose aunt was a practitioner of Santeria, but also had pictures of Jesus Christ on her altar. Well, okay, so in Santeria, you hear saints in that, right? And so the saints or the like holy folks like Jesus represent that they've syncretized them with different Orisa. I can't say who. I don't want to get Jai wrong because I want to think Jesus and a shoe are syncretized together, but I'm not positive, and I don't want to get that wrong. If somebody from Santeria can come in, they could talk about who. I know Santa Barbara and Shango and different things. That I know that for a fact because there was a professor who hired me to come teach martial arts at her college, and at her house, I said, this is Shango, and there was a woman. She said, yes, in Santeria, Santa Barbara is Shango. Okay, I think Saint George is Ogun, things of that nature. Baba, you want to thank Jesus for what now? I want to thank Jesus for taking the wheel for you, brother, and driving you to me through the martial arts. And I want to thank him for allowing me to bust you up for all these years. I've enjoyed busting you up in class and will continue to enjoy busting you up. So I want to thank Jesus for that. And if y'all don't know, Rock Hill E is a pastor. He's a ordained minister. On Brazil in Umbanda, Jesus is syncretized as okay, yeah, that makes sense. As Oshala. Oshala is, if you've heard Obatala or Orisha La, that's they say Oshala in Brazil. Okay. Let me see here. See what else. The different systems is like, okay. Oh, that is amazing. I would love to learn about the different ways of Orisas are worshipped out of Brazil. Yeah, so Esperanza, that's the idea. Maybe we'll do that on the next episode. I got to talk to this EI to see if she can come on. She practices Lukumi, and maybe I can get somebody else that I know that does the South African tradition. She's a Sangoma. So we'll see if I can get them lined up for next week. Then we will probably do that. That'll be the next episode. Um, Brother Chris, you said Yemonya. So Yemonya is called the mother of fish, and that's why, or Iye Moja, we'll say in Isheshe, that's the mother of fish. She's called that because she's the Orisha of fertility and of sexuality. You gotta, don't freak on those things. You gotta have sexuality to have human beings continue to exist. So our people say, isn't that Oshun? No, Oshun is the Orisha of sensuality. Yemonja is the Orisha of sexuality. There's a difference. Sensuality is what brings you to sexuality. Okay? Sensuality is what makes you want to be together or be with somebody to continue on things. And sexuality is what keeps human beings existing. Okay? It's the act. It don't always have to keep human beings existing, but that's a strong and important purpose of sexuality. So Yemonja is the mother of fish, the productivity. The male Orisha of productivity is Orisha Oko. Oko means the penis. Okay. So just so you know, and it also means Orisha Oko is also the Orisha of the farm. Why? Because the farm is produce, productive. Okay. Works simple like that. Jadarin said, happy birthday, Ice Cold Carter. If you don't know, look up Ice Cold Carter, and you will see who that is. So, yes. Let's see who else. Any other questions here? Let me see. Let's see. The Orisa, let's see, which are you best at, martial arts or divining? Okay. It's all martial arts to me. Now, I'll say I'm good at martial arts teaching. That's where my strength is at. It's teaching. Okay. So when you're divining, you're teaching. You're doing more than that, but you're teaching. You're teaching based on symbols that have fallen from the person's head onto the tray. So you divine what they need. And that involves interpretation. It involves insight. I think I think martial arts, just because I've been doing martial arts for 50 years. I've been doing Ifa for 24 years. So got more time and experience in martial arts. Yeah. Love them both equally, though. Let's see. And I don't separate them. Yeah. The Orisa cult had a lot of influence from Islam when the Muslims came down to Africa. So that makes sense that you see similarities between Orisa and names of Allah. Interesting. Now, I'll say this. My Odu, okay, you heard in here Otua Rete. I spoke about Otua. My Odu is Otua Meiji. Otua Meiji he was a Babalao. He's also an Imam. He spent 15 years in the mosque. And while teaching in the mosque, he brought everybody in the mosque also to Ifa. So for us, there's no separation and there's no animosity or opposition. We don't oppose nobody. Okay. We find the similarities and teach. So for me, I can really, I could be a Muslim and an Ifa practitioner. That's for me. Everybody couldn't do. They couldn't juggle those two things. They would, you know, be out of balance in one or both, right? But for me, I could be both, and have been both. Have been both. Um, let's see. To give context to my message, I was answering Bedina Bebe. Okay, I got you. So Bedina Bebe, maybe I missed what she said about that, about the names of Allah. Let me see. Likewise, as a Muslimah, I see consistencies between Orisa and names of Allah which have energies or qualities. Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. So the names, your name, we talked about that before. I think the episode was called What's in the Name, but represents your mission, your power, and your challenge. Okay. Whatever name, good name you have. I mean, some people, name Johnny Hamburger. I mean, what's your mission? What's your challenge? What's your power? I don't know. Making hamburgers. So, Western names be some strange names sometimes. Johnny Hamburger with the mayo. What does that mean? But good names, like the names of Allah. So you'll see, like Brother Jamil. Jamil is one of the names of Allah. Okay. These names mean things, good things. Okay. And that is that person's mission, power, and their challenge. Okay. Believe that. Balogun is a title, and all titles are names as well. Excuse me. So Balogun is my mission to be a leader in war. It also represents my power. If you get to know me, you know what that means. And it's my challenge. There's a story about the Balogun and Obaj, a king, being best friends. And, they would hang out a lot. And the Obaj left the Balogun's home, went back to his palace. And a couple of days later, he gets a note from the Balogun saying, hey, I'm coming to take all your shit. So the king laughs. You crazy, man. You funny. Blah, blah, blah. I'll probably knock you upside your head you come. The Balogun says, well, I'm going to find out because I'm coming to take your shit. He said, well, I know you're joking. I'm not joking. I'm coming to take your shit. So the king said, uh-oh. He gets divination. The priest says, Ogun says, stand up to him. You can win. But if you shake, if you run from him, he'll kill you all. He'll take your homeland and all your riches, your wives, all of it. So he said, I should stand up to the war chief? Oh, shit. Okay, but so he tells the people, we got to stand up. Now, this war chief was known for, he would do this dance. Whole armies would fall. Now, that's symbolic, not just doing the dance. It's talking about the dance of death, meaning he would move in certain way. Dance, you're moving, you're taking command of a space and the command of an audience in commanding that space. That's what dancing does, and so does war. So the Odu say the dancing ground is rowdy as the battlefield is rowdy because it has similar strategies and similar effects. So when it talks about the king, the war chief dancing, it's talking about his command of the ground and command of the audience. Through his command of the ground, he'll kill thousands, right? Well, the king is scared shitless. But he tells the people we got to stand up to him and fight back, or we're certainly dead. But if we fight back, we can win. So the people are okay, but they doubting him. Like, man, can't nobody beat this dude. A few days later, here comes. They see the army in the distance coming. Here comes the war chief. Like, oh shit. So the people line up. The king says, all right, last warning. You go back. I don't want to fight you. You're my best friend. I'm going to fight you. The king said, the war chief said, but I want to fight you. I want to fight you. So the king's gulp. Oh, shit. But we got to stand up to him. So they standing up. They fighting, and they getting, whooped badly. So people asking the king, what are we going to do? He's beating our ass. What are we going to do? We can't stand against this dude. He does his thing, thousands fall. What are we going to do? A little boy is watching. He got a sling. He says, your king, your honor, your majesty, excuse me, for a king, your majesty, can I take a shot at the war chief? The king said, well, we losing, we're getting killed anyway. Go ahead, he probably gonna kill you, but go ahead and do your thing. The little boy throws the stone. It hits the war chief in the head. He falls down. He's doing his dance. They think he's doing the dance of death for real. He's in death throes. He stops. Nobody dies. Nobody dies. They say, hey, king, hey, chief, war chief, hey. His people, tapping his body, he on the ground. War chief, get up. What?
His lifeless body.
His lifeless, right. Hey, poking him. No life there. This powerful man was killed by a stone hitting him in the head. We out of here. They jumped on their horses and rode back to the war chief's town, leaving the people alone. And the people who followed the king were victorious because of a little boy. So we have a challenge, war chiefs, Balogun. We can't get arrogant. You can't get arrogant because the least of people, just because you're skilled in war, the least of us can take us out of here. So don't get too big for your britches is what it's telling you, right? Don't be arrogant.
And that's also with Oshun also. Men should not get too arrogant that they don't need the help of women. Because that's going all the way back in the beginning, they couldn't move forward. Everything was stagnant until they included their women.
Right.
So make sure you include your wife. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm the man. I know everything." Include your wife.
Let me say right here, I can't do shit without my wife. I do know everything, but I can't do now. I can't do shit without my wife. So I'm thankful for her and my mother. I've always had a lot of support from sisters throughout my life. So I understood early on, we can't do nothing without them, And one thing, now I've seen online some sisters say, I don't say sisters, but some sisters say, I don't need no man. I don't, and even the sisters say all men should be eradicated. I'm like, damn, I know we've done some stuff, but damn, we all should be eradicated? Like, ma'am, I ain't done nothing to you. I should be eradicated? That's destroyed, killed, don't exist no more. Like, damn. Okay, so, whoa, careful, woo, don't fall. It scared you. If a man says to another man, I'm through with all women. And I'm talking about a straight man around other straight men and straight friends. I no insult to gay men. I don't know how they deal with this issue, but If a straight man says to his friend, I'm through dealing with all women, they should be eradicated, they're going to look at him like he's crazy and probably joan him, crack on him, whatever you call that in your town or country. They're going to laugh him out of wherever they're at. Or realize he's stupid, that we can't just exist without women. Even if you don't have a woman, okay, we can't do that. That's the other half of humanity. I ain't trying to do it, but you know, a brother that reads a lot of my work, he has a serious issues with women. He was dogging them. I got on comment. I rarely comment on people's stuff, but I said, what you talking about? I ain't never seen nothing like this. Okay, I've never seen the type of woman you talking about. You say, well, good for you, Baba. Good for you that you live in such a fantasy land. I said, no, motherfucker. I've never seen the stuff he was saying. I said, I ain't never seen no woman just act like this. Never. You know, women are never happy. All those general things. Be careful generalizing women. Women are never happy. They always got beef for a man. The stuff he was saying, like, I ain't never lived nowhere. I've lived a lot of places where just women ain't never happy and always got beef for a man. You walk in, there's always an argument. I ain't never lived that. Never. So that's outside of my understanding. I ain't never seen that. I ain't never seen it. You know, when women say all men are dogs, I ain't never lived in that world. These generalizations, you're talking from your pain. Your pain is valid, but your pain is not everybody's pain. So stop it. You're bullshitting, and that actually makes people not so concerned about your pain because they know you bullshitting. You're talking from, especially if you're an adult, you're talking like a child. The whole world against me. All women against me. All men against me. Stop it. Stop it. Those 3 men that did something to you, those 15 women that did something to you, that's 15 out of millions, billions, actually. What? You say, well, just black women just do so and so. Man, all my heaven has been found with black women. All of it been found with black women. Okay. I have friends, brothers, but my heaven has been found with black women. But you can say that's just me. Well, then, goddamn it, that's just me. I'm enjoying my heaven. I'm enjoying being with a black woman. I'm enjoying that. Okay. A brother was dogging black women. I'm gonna end on this in a group that I was in on Facebook, and he was saying how his white woman, he with a white woman because black women too much trouble. And he would say, I feel for you brothers with black women. This a brother. I said, well, hold on, man. Nobody's gonna say nothing to you. I said, but number one, let me point out your profile picture. You got a kilt on, so we know what kind of nigga you are. I said, but number two, I'm happy with my black wife. I'm happy with all my black babies. At the time, I think I had 7. I got 9 now. So I'm happy with my black babies. I'm happy when we walk into our black house and sit and watch black shows and read the black books we got. And then we go out to a restaurant and eat together, sitting with our black selves, eating at a restaurant. and telling our black stories. I love it. I love it. So for me, a black woman, ooh, boy, we talking about Oshun, and we talking about Oshun, all women, regardless of what their race is, they got an Orisa. So it's white women who got Oshun, and it's a force of nature. It's Asian women got Oshun, but the black woman I'm with is Oshun, initiated to Oshun, and oh boy, I'm happy about that, man. You know, Oshun is beauty and love, and her honey is she's the queen of honey, and her honey is irresistible. That's Oshun. Get to know her. She's the revolutionary. She's beautiful. She's loving. Get to know her. You go to Africa and you see Oshun. You see Oshun statue got multiple arms. What does that mean? That means she has many arms to wrap you in her love. She has many arms to fight with revolution. Okay, to revolt. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you check out the Ear Doctor at 8 o'clock tonight for Sundays, mixing it up. Great stuff. A couple weeks ago, or was it? Yeah, a couple weeks ago on Sundays, they had Dr. Cornel West on there. Like, oh snap! He knows music like crazy, music history and everything. So check out that episode when you get a chance to. But check out Sundays tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, thank y'all so much for joining me. Joining my wife. Somebody said, I've met several Muslims who practice and love African spiritual traditions. When I visit Brazil, I'll be happy to connect with Orisa people. Yeah, I know several Muslims who practice African spiritual traditions as well. Okay. That was my question. How do you feel about whites in our spiritual systems? It's force of nature. They can practice whatever they want to practice. As far as white people being chiefs and stuff, chief, I mean, your bloodline is part of that thing. So I don't believe in white chiefs in the African tradition. I don't believe in that. But they can practice tradition. Just they best respect it. They best respect it. Or people like me will say something to them and to the teachers. And I have. All right. Peace, y'all. Have a great evening. Peace, James. Good to see you, brother. I can connect you with some Orisa people in Brazil if you want. Oh, yeah, please do, Esperanza. So hit me up on African Martial Arts, African with a K, African Martial Arts at gmail.com. Because I want that link so I can try to bring someone from Candomblé on as a guest. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all. Be blessed. Peace.